Hey, Bruce here with the 5-Minute Handyman. I am outside getting ready to cut some of my hardy board for the floor of the bathroom. So let me show you some of the hardware we're talking about here. Alright, so I've got this hardy board, and what I'm going to do is I wrote down some dimensions, and so we're just going to measure it out. So it was 33.5. And what I like to do is I like to make 2 marks so that I can use a straight edge in between these pieces and draw my line. And so then I was 18 inches up to here. Now I have to cut this straight across in this area here. I could make a mark here, but it's going to be real hard for me to determine if I am at the right angle. So I marked off 18 here, and I'm going to make an 18-inch mark over here, so that this ends up giving me a little bit more accuracy as far as where make sure that my line is going to be straight and not on an angle. So this piece gets cut off, and this is going to go against the vanity. This edge goes against the tub. And my next dimension is, let's see, I think we are at 57.5. So I'll measure from there, 57.5. And again, I'm going to take it over onto this other side. So I get a nice long set of dimensions so that when I draw my line, it's going to be accurate. Okay, so that's where I'm going to need to cut. This is going to be scrap. Now the other thing I have to cut is I've got to put a hole in here for where the toilet flange is going to be. And so I measured it, and it was 12 inches down. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 marks so I can draw a straight line across that to make sure that I have accuracy. I also sometimes I like to take my pencil and put it on one mark, so then all I have to do is look at the other one and I can do my line. It just makes it easier when you're working alone and you need to make a straight line like that. And then this was 15 inches in, and because it's on the line, I don't have to do that to make another marking somewhere. So this is going to be the center of where the toilet flange is, and the toilet flange is 7.5 inches in diameter. So half of 7.5 is going to be 3 3/4. Now an easy way to figure out half dimensions is, and let me see if we can show this. If I'm looking at 7.5 inches, if I take my tape measure and I line up the end with 7.5, and I can look at the round part here, and this is in the middle, so it's 3 3/4. Okay, if I had some big number like let's say 68 3/8, what I do is I line this up with 68 3/8, and then when I look down at my end, it's going to be 34 3/16. Okay, so a very easy way to do math. Not quite in your head, but with your tape measure. So anyway, so I have a 7.5 inch diameter, so I'll mark 3 3/4, mark 3 3/4, then I'm going to mark another 3 3/4, and another 3 3/4, and I'll just do this around to generate a circle here, so it'll be easy for me to see where I have to cut to get my size correct. Okay, you can start seeing the circles coming into shape already. I just go around like this. And then once I get all these markings done, then what I can do is I can go back and just freehand the circle around. And it doesn't have to be exact because it is going underneath the toilet, and it's going underneath, there's going to be tile coming around. Okay, so there's my circle. I'm 15 inches in, I'm 12 inches down, and so what I will do is I will use my circular saw to just cut a slot in here, and then I'll use a jigsaw to cut around there.